Hello, beloved brothers and sisters. I've been waiting to tell you guys this for a long time, but anyway, we're going to do some wonderful series of videos on, because we already have talked about our identity in Christ and how we're secure in Christ and how we're all saved because of the death, burial, and resurrection, because we just couldn't save ourselves. First Adam, we all die. Second Adam, Jesus Christ, all live. See, God just made a way. He loved us so much that He wanted us with Him. And hell is real, whether you believe that it's eternal conscience torment or that you're in a place called hell in the heart of the earth until the great white throne judgment, in which you're thrown in the lake of fire, and at that point you are utterly destroyed by the second death or you perish. Whether you believe it's either or, hell is very real and it's horrible, and there's no goodness, there's no water, there's no reprieve, there's no hope, there's no love, there's no mercy, there's no anything, because see, all these things come from God, and it's permanent, and it's true, and I don't care if you think it's superstition or not. It's true, and God loved us so much, and the place is so horrible that He sent His Son to die for us, to be a propitiation for our sins, to shed His blood. It was the only thing powerful enough to make payment for the evil, because God can't have sin in heaven. So flesh and blood can't inherit. We get a new reborn spirit the moment we've trusted in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus according to the scriptures. And, He made uh, the lake of fire, made hell for the devil and his angels, because he tricked a third of them through his merchandise, through his selling of his lies, that he would be like the Most High. He'd be a better ruler than the one that was on the throne. He's the father of lies, people. And so God had to create a place so awful, so repugnant, so fearful that no more of the angels would follow. They'd see what their fate was if they fell for Satan's trick. Plus, I think once they saw that, they're like, ooh, God is the more powerful one. Um, we never want to be like Satan and allow whatever beauty or attribute that God's graced us with as a gift to get prideful or puffed up in that, because anything that we have is all because of God's grace and mercy. So, you guys know I spent most of my adult life working very hard as an accomplished feature film producer. I was a movie producer many years. They were not godly films. A lot of martial arts action movies, some westerns. Many of them did have sex scenes. Some I had, it wasn't porn, although I had a lot of porn friends that I still love. My neighbor was Ron Jeremy. I still care for him. He was actually a really smart guy. He's got 2 degrees, one in special education for children, believe it or not. And I believe the other one, journalism, maybe? Not sure. But super, super smart dude. The wealthiest guy in porn for sure. He does a lot of good investments. But I digress. So I can't help but think, I used that. I worked so hard. I did wardrobe. I would even work on grip electric crews if they needed me on set design. I'd even work on a strike crew. I'd do production assistant work. I'd even help transpo if they needed some trailers moved. I did everything. Even worked in the Sugar Shack over at in Venice with Roger Corman. He cranked out 26 films a year at about $250,000 a year, and he had his little structure, and they were cheesy, and they had about 90 to 105 pages of script. We shot most of them inside his little studio. The sets were just cheesy, but when you saw them on camera, they looked really good. That was back when we were shooting 35 millimeter, or I think he was using actually 16 millimeter. But I have some great memories. Worked wardrobe, a lot of wardrobe and costume, you'll see. A lot of my earlier work is not mentioned. You'll see a few things of me as an actor, but only the movies and TV I did as part of the union, as part of an official member of the Screen Actors Guild or of the American Federation of Radio and Television Artists, as after SAG. I think they merged. Producers Guild at that time didn't really have any benefits as far as insurance and stuff. I'm not sure how they've come a long way these days. Uh, but my point is, I worked really hard and was willing to do anything to learn. And I worked super, super long hours for very little money. And I paid my dues, and it was not about ego at all. That's why I treated my crew so well, and I never lifted myself up. If people follow me around, Miss Rowland, can I get you this? Can I get you that? I'd be like, it's Renee, and I appreciate you being so kind and respectful. But I never wanted anybody to lift me up that way, because the even the extra is important, and I used to hate how they treat them as extra or cattle because they're background talent. And without them, you try to do a concert scene without a crowd and see how realistic it looks. It doesn't. They're very integral and important. Every person's important on a set. So what I'm thinking here is, I got a secular film contract and it's done. But we keep running into obstacles with the actors, like somebody's not available, or they're going to do a Netflix series, or we got to make changes on a script, or I'm starting to feel like that was only given to me to wake me back up again, to be willing to maybe go in that direction again, but this time for God's glory, because I had completely set it aside. I had let it go after Corey Haim died. I I I just lost too many people to drug addiction, and I was about to lose myself to it. And then after those two men abducted me and almost killed me, my spirit was broken. And then once people that I had helped decided, she's probably washed up. She'll never do anything again. They really didn't need me anymore. They didn't think. So I was hurt, and I never wanted to go back. So there was a time there when I first came to Virginia, I wouldn't watch TV or watch a movie because I'd be scared. I knew I'd know somebody, at least on the stunt crew or on some crew member or an actor that I'd worked with. And it was just too painful because I had validated my very existence through that instead of validating myself through an identity I had in my dad. That my dad in heaven loved me, no matter how much I performed or how badly I performed in my career, or how good I performed. It didn't matter because he loved me because he's good. So I've been debating this for a while, but what I'm going to do, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it's about. I've done this before. I've raised several $1,000,000 through independent investors before by offering them points on a film. Like we have 100%, right? Let's say I'm probably going to get to do this film. It's going to be a biblical film. I can't tell you about what, but it's never been done before, and it'll get a lot of people saved. It's not just some Jesus film you've seen, and it is biblically based. It's not just some feel-good frou-frou shack nonsense. But let's say I raise between 1.8 and 2.5 million. I can actually probably do this film, even though it's a period piece and we need to build the sets. I don't want to use celebrities on it because it'll take us away from it being authentic, and I don't want anybody playing Jesus to be recognizable. But let's say that's about what I'm going to raise, somewhere between 2 million and under. Um, and since that we don't need 16 millimeter or 35 millimeter anymore, or 16, then I don't have to worry about transferring film over to digital and processing and 51 cents a foot that rolls through the camera at 90 feet a second at regular speed. Never mind slow motion, how much film runs through it at that speed. So now we're going to be shooting in digital. I'll be able, let me finish, sweetheart. I'll be able to get this done, and I'm absolutely positive of it. So I've already started doing outline. I'm going to be finishing the treatment. I'm going to be getting a new laptop. Now I'm saving for a laptop and for a screenwriting program. As of now, I'm doing it all on Word manually. But they have, Screenwriting Pro or any of those guys are good because, for each time a new character is introduced, it has to be in all caps. And there's a format done. And it takes a lot of times, and you need a screenwriting program so that when you plug it in to do a budget, it automatically breaks down all of your exteriors, your interiors, all your locations, and characters, etc., so that we can have a more accurate budget. So the main thing here is I'm going to be writing a treatment, or just a script for the trailer, a treatment. Go ahead and copywriting that and sending that over to the WGA. And what I'll probably do, since I was a producer for so long, but I want to direct this. There's a reason I have to direct this, because visually I'm making a point that can only be made this way. I can't convey it to another. It has to be done. I directed many commercials, but I hadn't directed, and I did second unit directing on feature films, but I never directed a feature film. I always produced or was a line producer or a unit production manager on feature films, on movies. So I need to prove myself as a director for features. So what I'll do is write probably a 10 to 15 page treatment and break it down into minimal locations and cast. That makes a very big impact. And then shoot that, edit it together, and then use that to raise funds on a Fund Me campaign or something. I have all the crew and everybody. I mean, everybody would be considered super professional. They'd be approved for any of the bonds that we would require or insurance. All of us would qualify for it. But I'd like to do it as low budget and as independent as possible. I don't want a distributor telling me what I can put in my film or how many times I can say Jesus, or if I have to, I can't say Jesus is the Son of God. No, this is going to be a legitimate, biblically accurate film, and I've decided that this must be done. So my first thing to do here is to get the laptop and the program. I'll go ahead and do the treatment manually to get that done, and then work on raising the little 25 grand or whatever in order to shoot that, edit that together, and then we can put that and a proposal and a budget and everything that's accurate with the script to raise the 2 million or under. I could actually do it quite a bit less than 2 million. I'm really good at it. When Army Archer did a article on me in Hollywood Variety, he named me the low budget queen who puts the money on the screen. Now, if I can use that little mantra, they know that I put the money on the screen. My movies look bigger budget than they actually are. So that is my game plan. So I'm asking for your prayers. And a lot will come against it, especially my enemies, because they're going to think it's something I'm accomplishing, and some of them hate that I ever had any success in Hollywood anyway, because it's just work. It's just something I do. If I was a doctor, I'd work in hospitals. I was a movie producer and actor, so I worked in Hollywood. It makes me no better than anybody else. But a lot of people and the enemy, of course, is going to come against me, because this is all to glorify Jesus. It's all about him, man. That's why I don't care about the celebrities and all that. So please keep me in prayer. If you guys know investment groups that would be interested in the future, think about them. Consider it. Also, once this is done, I will be doing offering where I'm taking percentages. Like, let's say just for simplicity's sake, it's $1 million film, right? So let's say we're going to do investment groups of segments of each point is $50,000. So you can buy let's point for lack of a better word. You can buy 1 point for 50 million, I mean 50,000, or you could buy 4 points for 200,000, and then each one of those points represents X amount of profit. So right down the middle, my company owns 50%, and then all of the investors own 50%. And then we'd have to work out where the distributor comes in. See, that's why I like people having, if it's just one film, we do an umbrella company, we can self distribute. Then I don't have them telling me what to do either. And it can be done. It can be done. So we haven't gotten the full game plan together yet. But you can be simplified. I mean, the finance of it can get a little crazy, but this is such a low budget thing. It can be done easily. And I really don't want to finance through some film financing company, and then they demand all their bonds and stuff and certain celebrities and how many people from that area has to work in it. And I really, really want this to be a family affair. If we can just get, if we could get a bunch of us to put in 5 or 10,000 each, and we all own a little piece of it. And as funds come in, you get your royalty checks. It's good. We can make money too. There's nothing wrong with making money. But my goal here is to get this film made, because I see there's no reason that I can't use the gift God gave me for His glory. What a waste if I did all that Hollywood stuff just for me to lift me up so that it could destroy my life and I could watch many people die, and until just that's it. No, no. Everything, every gift, every good gift comes from the Lord, and it should all be used to lift Him up, and we can all be a part of this, and we'll all figure out a way for us to do that. Hey, we can do all things through Christ which strengthen us, and we can do a lot of stuff. This is not pie in the sky, people. I've done this before many times. Okay? But we want to start this with just us. I'm not bringing in distributors and all that. I already have a nice entertainment law firm in Beverly Hills that I've used for many years. He's a Christian, and he's wonderful, and I adore him, and I trust him. I have many good friends in Hollywood, that very small group that I trust. But as for now, I'm not bringing anything in except those very, very tight people. Let's discuss this. Come up with some ideas. Let me in. I can't tell you exactly what the film's about, but I will be getting that done, and I will be having it copyrighted. Keep us in your prayers. Any ideas for financing? I have a lot of ways I can get things distributed, but if you have distribution companies or finance companies that you work with, or if you know independent people that want to invest or get in the movie business, great. I have a good history, and I'm legitimate. They can check me out on that. So I just want to let you know, my first goal is to get this treatment done. If I'm going to be getting a little laptop and a program. If I can't afford the program right away, it's a few $100. I'm going to go ahead and do a manual, just a plain old Word, and manually do it all. And do the formatting just manually myself, and then figure out the little budget and what we need, and we're going to shoot this thing, and then we can use that trailer to show that we can not only am I an accomplished producer, but that I can direct it, because I don't want to be the producer on this. I'd rather bring in a good producer. I have a good friend of mine that I might bring in, and he's produced a lot of things. I actually have a celebrity that I don't know personally, believe it or not, but is a Christian and is really bold in his faith. Hilarious guy. I may actually go to him and see if he wants to jump on board. But in any case, pray about it. Pray about who you know. Pray about it. If all you can do is lift us up in prayer, do that, because a lot's going to come against us. But I wanted to share this with you. I'd been on the fence about it, but I look forward to doing these videos about walking in our faith, making our faith profitable, because once we're saved, we've got that down, and we'll continue to rest in grace. But a lot of people misunderstand me thinking I say don't live for God when I'm trying to say you living for God has nothing to do with you being saved. You got to get saved first. So I'll be doing a lot of those fun videos, but keep this in prayer. Keep any ideas you have, email them to me. Roland Reel Pix, Pix, and it's REEL, like movie reel, ROLAND REEL PIX at gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And again, thanks for helping that family in need the other day. I was so proud to call you my brothers and sisters. Like Jesus said, which one did the Father's will? The one that said he would but didn't, or the one that said he wouldn't but did it anyway? We did it anyway. God bless.